Welcome to episode 8 of the CRF250R enduro conversion. I'm starting the episode here because I've finally got a part in the mail. I know it's been a long time since the last episode, and that's because I'm just basically waiting for a lot of parts to come in. The wheels are getting built right now and I can't wait for you guys to see those. So these are titanium Scar enduro foot pegs. And I didn't really need titanium foot pegs, but I got these because they have the cutout in the middle, which stops mud from getting stuck in the foot peg and reducing your grip. A little bit of extra money because of their titanium, but it is the design I wanted in the end, and I think they look really great. These are about 100 grams lighter than the standard foot peg if you care. So I'm gonna throw these on now and see what they look like on the bike. These pegs look so good on the bike. I really love that raw titanium color, and I think it really breaks up the all black theme quite nicely. So what you just saw me do is fit a quad lock mount to the handlebars. You can see I had to chop out some foam of the bar pad to make it fit. I will admit that is a little sketchy, but it's such a small slither out of the middle, and you can see I put that piece back that I don't think it's really gonna matter. How this mount works is you use a phone case like this that has a cam lock in the back of it, and you twist it on, and now it's locked on. That can't come off unless you pull that tab that's behind there and turn the phone at the same time. I use this same mount on my road bike, and I haven't had any issues. The thing barely vibrates with the bike. My MotoMaster front brake line also came in the mail, so I'm gonna throw that on now. It's a shame the brake line had to route behind the headlight because it is a really cool looking brake line with that stainless braid, but the headlight sticks out a little bit further than the stock number plate, so that's just the way it had to go. One of the coolest parts of this build just arrived, and that is the graphics. So I'm gonna open up this right now and lay it out on the table and give you guys a look before I attempt to put it on the bike. So there's the sticker kit all laid out. Super stoked with how this stuff turned out. I can't wait to put it on the bike. I've never put a sticker kit on a bike before. I bought a heat gun specifically to do it. I'll do a couple parts that are easy, like the headlight, and if it's not working that well because of the temperature, I'll wait for another day. But super excited to try this stuff out, and hopefully it turns out all right and I don't butcher it. I just sort of ripped half of the backing off just so I can get the placement right and change it until I'm happy with it. To save you from watching the entirety of installing this graphics kit, I'll speed it up and I'll give you a brief description of the process. I wipe the plastics down with a mineral spirits on a microfiber rag so that the plastics are as clean as possible to give the vinyl the best chance to adhere to the plastics. I then heated up the plastics a little bit with a heat gun due to the cold weather. I tore a little piece of the wax paper backing off the graphic so I can get the placement correct before peeling the rest off and sticking it down completely. Then I heated up the vinyl and squeegeed out any bubbles and used a scalpel to cut off any excess or overhanging vinyl. And you can see I had to remove some things like the radiator shrouds, the seat and the taillight to make installing the graphics a little bit easier for myself. The graphics are from Rival Ink. I just got them to change a few things, like the graphics were originally red, I just got them to change it to black, and obviously all the logos that are on the graphics are just brands that I used during the build. So it's raining right now, so hopefully you can hear me, but this is the tank sticker, and it's perforated because the petrol inside the tank lets off fumes, and that kind of escapes through the plastic, which causes stickers to bubble. So the tank stickers are perforated to stop bubbling up. So that probably means that the heat tape that you might remember from an earlier episode that I put on the underside of the tank will probably bubble up, but I'll have a look at that later. But for now, what I want to do is, because this sticker isn't made for this tank, it's made for the stock tank, which is a lot slimmer and low profile. I might trim down this actual sticker so it suits this tank better. Like, I don't really need this piece up here because there's no real graphic on it anyway. So I might just cut it straight across here and taper it back in here a little bit so it fits a bit better with this tank. So you can see I've trimmed the sticker down a little bit to make it fit this tank a little bit better. Hopefully it comes out all right. That's one whole side done. bike looks awesome. The phone did die while I was doing that panel, but hopefully there's enough of the clip that I can use it. Otherwise I'll just film the other side. The number plate wasn't as hard as I thought it was gonna be. With the heat gun, it makes it a lot easier. You can stretch it and bend it around that corner. But so far, I'm loving it. I'm gonna get stuck into the other side and get that done, but I'm just not gonna film it because you've already seen me do it on this side. I've also got some show-off fork stickers that I'll throw on now as well. The entire graphics kit is finally done. It took me a few hours, but I got it all done. I did a few things off camera just after I completed the graphics kit. As you can see in that last shot where I was putting the fork sticker on, I forgot to mention that the fork guards actually came in the mail. So I put the decals on those as well. So the fork guards are on now. I got some tugger straps, so I got one for the front. Inevitably when I get stuck, I'll be able to use that to pull the bike up or out of whatever situation I get it into. And the same on the back, another tugger strap there. I also installed a horn. I didn't really want it, but I had to have it to meet recreational registration requirements here in Victoria. So that might come off as soon as the bike's registered, or I might just leave it, I'm not sure yet. And I also bled the brakes. I just used a bit of a Lucabond just to simulate the thickness of the disc brake so I could bleed it without the wheels being here. So as soon as the wheels get here, I can just throw the discs and the sprockets on, and then I can throw them on the bike, and then the bike's done. Finally, after months of waiting, the wheels are here. That's why you haven't seen a video for a while, it's because I've been waiting for these things. So the postman just dropped them off now, so I'm gonna open them up and check it out. And there they are. They are Han hubs with XL A60 rims and heavier duty spokes. Really stoked with how these came out, and I can't wait to throw them on the bike. I just had to run down and get the tires put on, so now I can throw the sprocket and discs on. Wheels are on, and it feels so good to finally be able to roll this thing around the garage again. All I have to do now is put the chain on, and I actually got a new chain slider. Some of you might have noticed that I didn't replace that in an earlier episode of this series. So I'm gonna replace that, throw the chain on, and once I'm done all that, I also have a skid plate to put on. New chain and chain slider are on. It's awesome to finally see this thing on the ground and not sitting on the stand anymore. So now I can put the final piece of the puzzle on, and that's the skid plate. And there it is, the bike is finally complete, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. It was a long process, starting with 2 non-running bikes and ending up with this enduro-ready CRF250R. Thanks to everyone for following along with the build series. I'm looking forward to what's next, definitely some riding videos and more bike builds. So if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow my Instagram at JackKellyBuilds. I'll end this video with some nice shots of the bike, and stay tuned in the next week or so because I'll upload a build breakdown or a bike check so you can see all the parts I used in this build.